Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. This is your forecast for Thursday, July 2nd. For those of you that are new, welcome to the channel. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on my Patreon page, thank you so very much. Your guys' monthly subscription support helps me to keep doing this work. So I greatly appreciate that. As I've said in the past, these are messages with the intention of the highest good for the greatest amount of people or the greater collective, right? So if you're watching this on a date that is not the 2nd of July, that's okay. It could still have meaning for you, still be reaching you at the right time. So you don't necessarily have to turn it off just because it's set for a certain date. We're building on the energies that are, going from reading to reading consecutively throughout the week, but the overall message is for the highest good, so it could still be poignant or have meaning to somebody who watches it on a date completely different than what it was originally made for, okay? If you want to support the channel, please hit the subscribe button, either at my YouTube page or on my business page at Facebook, and follow me. I greatly appreciate it. I do live events and things like that. So if you hit the notification bell, you will be notified when I go live. If you're interested in a private reading, you can contact me via the Facebook business page. And that's pretty much it, I think. Oh, any decks that you purchase, if you look in the descriptions box of the videos, if you see decks that you like and you're interested in purchasing them, if you utilize my Amazon affiliate links, I do get a small percentage of the sale. So that's another way to support the channel. Comments, suggestions, statements, all that stuff is greatly appreciated. I will respond if I see them. If anybody has any ideas of what they'd like to see on the channel, I can certainly take that into consideration too. Alright, so let's see what's going on. We've switched decks over and we've decided, I made the decision, I didn't do a poll this month. I decided that it's time for the KRANS stuff, the wild unknown technology. I still feel like we're in this wild unknown energy. And I really liked on the monthly Tarotscopes with the spirit animal deck, adding that element of the spirit animal and the qualities of that animal as like sort of a tour guide through the month of July, I felt like was really nice. So it prompted me to want to use both decks because I kind of got these decks. I used them once in a pick a card and then never really played again. So it's time to explore these decks for the month of July. Alright, what do people need to know? Come on, angels. Where's the information for the highest good? What do we need to be aware of? For Thursday, the 2nd of July. When you guys view this, it will be the 2nd of July. For those of you on Patreon, you will see the day early. But the 2nd of July is my oldest bulldog's birthday, Bodhi. So it's happy birthday to Bodhi, my Cancerian bulldog. And let me tell you, he can be moody. He's so loving though, and so sweet. What's going on, guys? This is exciting. Oh my god, it's the Ace of Cups. So we had the Wheel of Fortune, the Hierophant. So we had, hold on one second. This is weird. I'm trying to connect this all up now because last week on Sunday, I always do, for those of you that are new and those of you that are regular, you know this, on Sundays we do the sort of Sunday reading, but it's always a bigger reading and it's sort of like an underpinning energy of what to expect throughout the week too. It's like a macro and microcosmic reading is the way I view it, or what the concept behind it. We're supposed to end off with the shadow, which is sort of like the devil in a traditional deck. They call it the shadow in the deck that I was using last month. But we've had these last 3 hits of some sort of strong cards. The Ace of Cups is always sort of about inspiration, new thought, new ideas, cups being the element of water, that of the emotions. This could be, love being established. This, for some of you, this could be just emotional well-being being established, finding a new path to emotional well-being, or the opportunity for the acceptance of that. What I do love is the singular cup here and this sort of golden glow atop it. Excuse me. To me, that feels like we are sort of really feeling ourselves. We're shining our light. We are owning who we are, emotional. I don't want to say instability or insecurity because I don't think that's the case. I feel like, regardless of our emotions, this is a better way to place it. Regardless of our emotions, whatever they may be at any given time, today is a day where we can actually feel kind of centered in them, even proud of them, inspired by them. The Ace of Cups to me is always, all aces to me are like sources of inspiration. They're kind of divine in a way. That's sort of the energy that I feel with them. It's like sort of a connection that is divine, sacred, and inspiring, right? And so to me, this Ace of Cups is about us sort of being with our emotional self and being okay with that wherever we may be, right? If we've been having a rough time emotionally, I think that some of us might be getting a little bit of a break or a breather, so to speak, around our emotional area where we can kind of recalibrate. We're also in this Cancer season right now, which speaks to that emotionality, that nourishment, that nurturing mother nature's, or like nurturing mother energy that Cancer, the sign of Cancer is so famous for. Cups, Cancer is also ruled by the moon, which affects water and tides. So that would also explain this Ace of Cups energy. To me, this is a very empowered energy. We have that Dawn of Pentacles. She'd still be lingering right now, right? She was from Sunday. She was the midweek card for Sunday, which to me, the Dawn of Pentacles is similar, I believe, to the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles would be this idea of maybe, how do I want to say this? Like not having all of the information, but being willing to learn, being given information or messages piece by piece, being grounded, but yet still learning how to ground even more. But with this Ace of Cups, I feel like with that Dawn of Pentacles energy underneath, that sort of ability to learn, that ability to open up, that ability to expose oneself and accept oneself, maybe at the material level or in the world as they are, it opens the door for this Ace of Cups energy to sort of flood in, or flow in, is kind of how I'm connecting this. I also think that we've had these two like sort of major cards at play. We had that Wheel of Fortune 2 days ago, and then we had the Hierophant yesterday. And so to me, I think those things also add the impact and the magnitude of those cards. If we're utilizing these energies or these perceptions, they add to this ability to sort of own our sort of our beauty, our grace, from an emotional level. And I feel like the emotions are like, how do I want to say this? Like they're a signifier or a message system to us to let us know where we're at. And I think that the broad range of emotions is a large part of why we as spirit come here to incarnate into human body. And I think that a large part of sort of the distress, the craziness that we're dealing with right now is stuff that's evolving all of us on an emotional level too, on a spiritual level, on an experiential level that, you know, really can't be had if we were just in a box by ourselves, which a lot of us are in a box by ourselves because of COVID, but we do have our phones, we do have Facebook, we do have things that are exposing us to sort of what's going on in the world, and we have feelings around that, and our feelings are becoming clearer with this Ace of Cups, and we're owning those feelings. We're becoming more sort of attuned to them, is the feeling that I get. The singular cup here speaks to this idea of we're listening to ourselves and our emotions more clearly today. If that's the bare minimum meaning of this card, take that and run with it, children. That's what I'm gonna say, is take that and run with it, because it's a beautiful day to feel whatever it is you may be feeling, and to find acceptance and inspiration around that. Now let's see what the animal guide is. What other animal spirit information do we need to add to this to further clarify this Ace of Cups energy that we're experiencing? Okay, Gazelle. So Gazelle would be an earth plane animal. That would speak to this Dawn of Pentacles energy. She really resonates with me with that Dawn of Pentacles energy that I was just talking about, which is that earth elemental energy. And the gazelle to me is a fast, sort of sprightly kind of animal that moves gracefully, can turn on a dime. There's a flexibility with the gazelle. And this is not from the definition of the book. I will read the book's definitions for both of these cards just so we can get familiar with these decks. But my interpretation of this gazelle card, first off, I have to say, I love that we have this aspect of water in the cups, and then we have this aspect of sun or fire in this sun behind the gazelle, the light behind the gazelle. It speaks similarly to this water that we have in the cup here. If you see that, both are sort of shining brightly, seeing the truth, emotionally seeing the truth, and materially maybe being able to see a path might be opening up, right? I think of gazelles as working their way across the I don't want to say tundra, that's the wrong thing, or Sahara, like the savannah, right? They can make their way through. They're cautious animals, they're alert animals, they're paying attention. We had that also a little bit with that owl energy from yesterday's reading. There's this idea of paying attention to our surroundings and then figuring out, like, sort of adjusting our emotions or owning our emotions around those things, if that makes sense. Gazelles, in the sense of trying to tie this into that Dawn of Pentacles, to me, Dawn of Pentacles being the page is a little bit, I don't want to say weak, but youthful or delicate in nature. And this gazelle would be the same way. Do you see where that parallels or that dovetails with each other? So to me, this graceful energy of the gazelle is something that we want to bring in. There's a lightness to it. There's a pivotal, an ability to pivot or move swiftly, lightly on our feet, sort of treading lightly through our environment or our universe, right? They're soft, sort of gentle creatures, right? Yet they can move quickly if need be. They can flee danger if need be. I don't sense any danger whatsoever. I do want to say that. I actually sense that this is a very calm, beautiful day where we can be more delicate with ourselves emotionally and allow ourselves to have this more material delicacy or gentleness come through in our world. Okay, even if we're doing that on our own or by ourselves, that's okay. Remember, I'm going to just grab the week's grounding stone. There's that stone on Tiger's Eye, which was forgive. And I feel like today might be the day where that really starts to kick in at a deep emotional level and at a sort of like physical level. Our body will transform from that. Our body could actually heal in different ways from that. All right, I'm going to just read the definitions really quick for you so that we just have them in the book, because it doesn't hurt to know what's going on. So let me just find these really quick. There's Gazelle. Here's the Ace of Cups. I'm going to read you the Ace of Cups. It seems dark in my room. Is it? I have all the lights on, but it's gray outside. Okay, here's Gazelle. Or, I'm sorry, here's Ace of Cups. And again, I forgot my freaking glasses. Sorry, guys. Love's beginnings. I said some of you, it might be love. It could be self-love, too. It doesn't necessarily, the singular cup doesn't necessarily mean that we have to be out there falling in love in the midst of COVID. Love in the time of cholera. That's a famous book. But, who knows? We could be making love connections via a Zoom room or over online, or we could just be loving ourselves and embracing ourselves in very deep and inspired ways. So aces mark the beginning of exciting new phases. Since the Suit of Cups deals specifically with love and emotion, you're in for a real treat. Expect to enter a blissful time of health, joy, and friendship. And see, that's sort of this gazelle energy too. I feel like there's something going on with our health emotionally as we embrace ourselves. Something's shifting or becoming more gentle in our health scenario. So anybody that's dealing with sort of the stresses of just life in general, and it's taking its toll health-wise, I feel like today would be a beautiful day to give yourself a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a recharge. That gazelle is also resting, right? He's aware and alert, but he's resting. He's not necessarily, he's almost bathing in the sun and allowing himself to be re-energized. A new love could be on the horizon. You may feel that you're making a whole new start. Just go with it and allow this feeling to revitalize your spirit. So that's beautiful. And the revitalization of the spirit is also this golden light that's happening at the top of our crown, in our third eye, at the, just at our highest self, in our highest mind. Just giving ourselves that is really beautiful. Let's look at this Gazelle card. So Gazelle is heightened awareness and ability and vulnerable. The Gazelle represents supreme grace. With every move, the awe-inspiring beauty emits sophistication and elegance. Gazelle personalities are often hyper-aware of their surroundings, bordering on hyper-vigilant, and this can inhibit them from enjoying the beauty they spent so much effort cultivating. No more worrying about all those predators out there in the wild. When this card appears, it's time to get back to the present moment. Sit down, find your breath, and acknowledge the beauty that surrounds you. Let it nourish your gentle spirit. When in balance, it represents graceful, perceptive, artistic. I also read all of the in balance and out of balance because I believe that the presence of the card represents that even if we're out of balance, we have an opportunity to put it back into balance. So that's why I read all these definitions. When out of balance, it's food allergies, insomnia, or racing mind. Okay? And to bring into the balance, you want to do yin yoga, a cozy home, or good food. So, to me, guys, I'm going to pull the grounding stone, but today is a beautiful day to nurture ourselves with these two. I love these two. And it's my dog's birthday, so I'm going to nurture the shit out of my dog. Oh, I needed to see this reading, let me tell you. Okay, so the stone is on promise. You guys know, for those of you that are my regular viewers, I always think promise has a dual meaning. Promise is the idea of promises we make and keep to ourselves and then to others, right? And how we sort of work with those, right? What do we sort of, what can we promise? What are our limitations? What aren't our limitations? What promises do we have out there that might be causing us stress or worry, or affecting our what's the word? Our sense of self. Are we? How do I want to say? Are we promising things that maybe they're affecting our ability to believe in ourselves because we don't necessarily feel like we can deliver? That's one way that promise can go, right? It's not necessarily a negative, right? It's just sort of something we might want to look at when this stone comes up. We might want to ground in and center in. Maybe the promises are just to ourselves, right? So some sort of commitment that we make to ourselves today, especially with these beautiful energies. I mean, we have this fire and this water going, like, very, I don't know, I feel like this harmony between these two cards, it's really beautiful. There's that idea. There's also the idea of the promised land, or something being full of promise, like all of this opportunity, all of this greatness, all of this sort of fertility or richness, right? There's an ability to, I think, like when we come into balance with these cards the way they are today, there's this opportunity to sort of see the promise in life, similar to like what Gazelle is saying, which is stop, take a breath, enjoy the beauty that is around you that you've created. And if you're having a hard time seeing that beauty, tap into this Ace of Cups energy and allow yourself to be inspired by the newness or the changes that can be happening around you, and know that they are full of promise, right? They are full of opportunity. That is your forecast for the day. I think that that's a pretty open, wonderful message, and I'm going to leave it at that. I think we can use that. It's interesting to see that we're heading to the shadow card. Who knows? Maybe seeing the shadow card on Sunday has required the majority of us to do something different so we can avert it altogether. Or maybe visiting our shadow side is not going to be a bad thing. It's going to actually bring about a turning point or a change in ourselves that will be quite beneficial. So, that is your forecast. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. I hope it makes sense. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. These decks are really beautiful. I'm excited to use them for July. I hope you guys are too. And that's it, I think. Just, please give me a like, a share, a comment, a subscribe. Please follow my Instagram. Any support is greatly appreciated as I try and grow this. I hope you guys are enjoying these readings. I hope that they're making sense and resonating and giving you sort of inspiration, guidance, validation. Apply them to wherever they best fit in your life. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And any suggestions, comments, all of that sort of stuff is greatly welcomed. Um, have a great day. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care and really enjoy this day. All right, bye bye.